Repeat after me. Drug users don't belong in prison. Okay. Let me explain. I only need a few minutes of your time to properly explain this. There's a famous rat park study where they separated rats into two groups. One group had everything and the best lives a rat could live, while the other group was put in the worst condition a rat could live in. Both groups were given equal access to liquid morphine. And wouldn't you know it, the rats living a horrible life consume morphine 19 times more often. Real quick, the reason we test on rats is because they're similar to humans. Their nervous system and brain chemistry responds the same ways ours does. So if something works on rats, it'll most likely work on humans. But you know, they're still rats and we're humans, so you need a real-world example of the rat park study, don't you? I wonder if there was a real-world example of the famous rat park study, but involving humans. During the Vietnam War, it's estimated that 40% of all American soldiers tried heroin while they were deployed. 20% of them got addicted. Upon returning home, 95% were able to quit, mostly cold turkey. It's almost like a horrible living situation turns people to drugs as a coping mechanism. Okay, maybe soldiers doing drugs during Vietnam War isn't exactly like the rat park study, and you need more convincing. Not every country has the same strict drug laws America does, so let's look at some other countries. During the 90s, Switzerland was the heroin epicenter of Europe. They used to have open-air drug markets and homeless people injecting in public parks near kids. That sound familiar to you? So what changed? Well, their strict drug laws weren't working, so they did something radical. The Swiss yelled YOLO and took a full court shot by catering to their drug users. Safe injection sites opened up. They brought users off the streets, out of the parks, and away from the kids. Their government provided users with free heroin, clean needles, and on-site nurses to help people inject their drugs and deal with overdoses. Here's the most important thing they did. They provided counselors. They gave their people help. They got their people back on their feet. Then magically, drug use went down. What did I say earlier? It's almost like a horrible living situation turns people to drugs as a coping mechanism. Homeless people got homes. Jobless people got jobs. Mentally unwell people got health care. The root cause of their addictions were fixed, and their desire to use drugs went away. Side note, Switzerland is a third world country. If you didn't know, third world countries are defined as unaligned during the Cold War. US and our allies were first world, number one, baby! Whilst the USSR and their allies were second world, and everyone else just got labeled third world. Just a fun fact for you. Anyways, okay, so maybe Switzerland was a fluke. Surely a different country doing a similar thing wouldn't end in a similar result. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Portugal? Did you think shithole? Unlikely. Portugal decriminalized all drugs in the year 2000. Drug traffickers and drug dealers still illegal and punished to the full extent of their laws, but the users, they're not put into the legal system. They're put into their healthcare system. If you get caught with drugs in Portugal, you're sent to a drug panel. The drug panel will decide if you're a recreational user or an addict. Your punishment is to get help. You'll get a drug counselor and you'll get the help you need. Okay, I'm oversimplifying their system, but the point is they don't punish drug users. They help them. The reason they tried these radical drug policies is because they were tired of their strict drug laws not working. And at that point, 1 in 100 Portuguese were addicted to heroin. These radical drug policies have now worked twice in countries that are relatively similar to mine, America, the best country. Okay, here's the worst part. Both countries were led by socialists when they fixed their drug problem. Look, I dress like this on a regular basis because the American flag gives me a red, white, and boner. So please know I take no pleasure in complimenting any socialist, ever. For reals. This is me on voting day. Right, you can't guess who I voted for. I'm not asking you to care about drug addicts. I'm asking you to be selfish. By helping them, it helps you. Your chances of being a victim of a violent crime goes down because drug addicts have a habit of committing various violent crimes to feed their drug habit. Crimes like armed robbery. They also prostitute themselves to afford their drugs. Blah, 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 blah. God, George, no! Plus these people have families. What if your brother or best friend got addicted to heroin? What would you want to happen to them? Government-funded treatment that reduces crime and the chance of them ODing, or your brother selling his body to get his daily fix? false dichotomy, I know, but that's the reality we live in. Many adults in their 20s have done cocaine in the bathroom stall of a nightclub without ever becoming addicted to it. I did meth by accident once when I was 27. Long story, but I'm never doing that again. It wasn't fun. I don't know how people get addicted to it. Oh yeah, cause it's a curable disease. That's what this whole video is about. What we're doing in America isn't working. More and more drug overdoses each and every year. Our life expectancy actually went down because so many Americans are dying from drugs. Not right now. We tried things like DARE to no effect. Some studies have shown that DARE had the backfire effect. Just Say No didn't work. Speaking of Just Say No, y'all remember when it came out Nancy Reagan used to give the best sloppy toppy in all of Hollywood? I remember. If I had a time machine, I would go back to Hollywood in her heyday. You too. We also tried shaming drug users. Shaming doesn't make people feel like they did a bad thing. It just makes them feel like they themselves are bad. It creates hopelessness and ends up unintentionally making the problem worse. By feeling shame over using drugs, the person will turn to drugs to make that feeling of shame go away. Shaming just ends up reinforcing bad habits. Unintentional consequence. Instead of shaming, you should try empathy and being understanding. Try to relate to them. You know, all that gay stuff. But our strict drug laws aren't working. The majority of people who become addicted to drugs deserve our help with proper treatment. What kind of society do you want to live in? The kind that actually fixes our drug problem or unintentionally makes it worse? Thanks to countries like Brazil, Canada, Israel, Spain, Switzerland, the UK, and the US, psychedelics are starting to be used in mental health treatment and research again. People with severe PTSD can take ecstasy and walk through their trauma with a psychologist. Stage 4 cancer patients can take ketamine to deal with their cancer pain and come to terms with them dying. The war on drugs set back this kind of treatment and research by 5 decades. Very important, I don't think we should hate any of the past generations over these dumb drug laws. Our outdated drug laws were made in an attempt to help our country, but we now have undisputed proof these laws failed. So we need to change. If you made it this far in the video, then do me a small favor by clicking the like button. And if this is the first video of mine you're seeing, then titty twist that subscribe button. No, but seriously, interacting with this post helps keep me in the algorithm. Like or dislike it, I don't care which. Comments good or bad, I don't care which. It's the interaction I need to help my channel grow. If I get to 2K subs, I'll drop a hard R, so share this video with your friends. You can give me money by becoming a member of my channel or tipping me via PayPal. Links below. I also have merch for sale. Like most of the shirts I wore in this video, some stickers, hat pins, and other special items. Some of you know which. If you haven't seen my White People Have No Culture video, then go do that now. I post it regularly, so maybe turn on post notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Again, I find myself at the end of the video with no good way to end it. Nevertheless, my dress for the occasion is number 32, not the other situation. If the beat moves your feet, then don't change. So change it now. Pack your bags because you're going on a birdification. Well, I'm a disaster, microphone master. Put on the tapes and rock 'em ghetto blaster. It's not about the money, the switch, it's about something retard.